Thank you for joining us today.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure to be here.
Where are you joining us from?
I'm in Virginia, in Washington, D.C. Metro. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, it's. I know it's been a messy period for DC right now, but we'll get
When
through it
was it not?
eventually. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fair. It's always messy. Well, why don't you talk a little bit about sort of what was brought you into thinking about AI in general, what you're focused on in the marketplace right now, and then we can maybe ask some questions about education. I definitely want to get into that a little bit today.
absolutely. The name you got, and my name is Ziad Khan, and my father's family descended from Tajikistan, which is in Central Asia, and my mother's from India. They're both of them are Pathans, which means they're gypsies, and they're somehow related to Mongols and Turks. So I was born and raised in Pakistan. I moved to United States in 1991. I was a restless, curious soul. I wanted to learn more, you know, and United
Had some
States
of that
has been
nomad spirit in you.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So learning and helping others learn has been the core, value of my life. My grandfather was a school principal. My father, even though he was in police, but he had the teacher's spirit. My mother, which was a great influence, and she has an entrepreneurial spirit in her, always teacher. So I got teaching running in my blood from beginning. When I came here, I was in PhD in George Mason. I started my training and education company. If you remember this, we're talking about 94, 95, World Wide Web. Technology was commercialized, which before defense was using. And this was Clinton Gore time, and technology commercialization just put the market on fire. And all, companies were going public left and right. There's so much money and so much, like exactly what is happening in AI right now. That's exactly what was happening. Communication and information technology, all that. So I started my technology training company. We used to give training, skills training in all the leading technologies at that time, Microsoft, Oracle, all of those. And I ran that. We set up campuses in DC metro area. It was a commercial company, but my spirit was not there, in commercial. I love technology. I kept doing technology as much as I could. But when you're running a company with 120 people, you're doing a lot of babysitting, a lot of, so I could not handle that.
Less
I wanted
education, more
to,
HR.
yeah, HR, emotional intelligence, scheduling, administration, all those things that I never wanted to do. So I was far from technology, more into all the other things. So 9/11 happened. Um, which was very unfortunate and life changing for the entire world changed that day. I was, Pentagon was not too far. I was stuck on 395 for hours watching the smoke coming out of the Pentagon building and thinking that where do we go from here? I'm a Muslim immigrant. I'm an immigrant. So immediately after 9/11, media did what they do. They started spewing hate and venom, and they started targeting certain groups. If you remember, many Sikhs are a religion from India. They sport long beards and they put turban. So many of them were killed because people thought they were related to Osama bin Laden somehow. So it was that level of ignorance and that level of hate. So I decided to mitigate that. I started an institution called Interfaith University. The purpose was to bring all the faiths together, open a dialogue. There was so much confusion, anger, hate, and curiosity. So we started dialogue between different faiths. Slowly things started calming down and started making sense. And I traveled. We worked with veterans here. We worked with their interfaith groups. So we did a lot of work in that. When I traveled the world, I went to Jordan, where Prince Hassan. He runs one of the largest interfaith initiatives in the world, in the Middle East. So I traveled Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Egypt, Jordan, all those. And I found that we need more than just interfaith. We needed peace. Our world needs peace. So when I came back and I consulted with all the team, the board of directors, we changed the name from Interfaith University to Peace University. Now, Peace University is an interfaith school registered in Virginia that offers degree and non-degree programs. Our focus, however, has been, as the education models have changed, on skills building that connect people with the industry, where they can earn their livelihood, they can pursue their passion. So many people love technology like I did, and that's what keeps this country's engine running, innovation engine running ahead of others. So as we move towards, we were doing decision support systems or intelligence systems before, but when artificial intelligence, OpenAI opened the chat GPT, then the world was, shocked at that time, and everyone started talking, and AI, became a household buzzword. And then DeepSeek, DeepSeek created, the DeepSeek pushed this to the real edge. Because before you thought that, okay, it's billions of dollars and it's such a resource hog and it will eat all the electricity and we will be probably left and AI will go crazy. All of that kind of chaos was happening then. So we, Peace University, started taking part in it, being a religious institution, interfaith school, but offering entrepreneurship program, offering women programs where we want help women entrepreneurs. It was quite bold, but we started building that culture, fostering it into an innovation culture where artificial intelligence plays very important role. So that's how my journey has been so far.
And as you've now engaged that more, has there been, do you find it really empowers the people? Are you finding there's some resistance? What are the major items you're seeing as it becomes so integral?
Both, both.
Okay.
I mean, people, we inherently focus on we are probably cynical or skeptical people. We focus on, oh my God, AI will, number one, take over all the jobs. If you remember, I don't know, you're much younger, but in 80s when the personal computers came in, this was the same panic, like, oh my God, a computer will do like thousands of people's work and everybody will be out of job. But what happened was totally opposite. Computers created so many jobs. The only thing that happened at that time was people who knew computers replaced people who did not know computers. So it was still people, so many jobs. Exactly now I tell people that, look, AI, we made AI, we created it. Natural intelligence will always be ahead of computers. Computers will do everything that we tell them. They will probably do better because it's repetitive, methodical work. But we made it, so we will stay ahead of it. So computers will never replace humans. AI will create so many jobs, and you already see benchmark data that already AI is doing that. Except the same thing. The people who know AI are replacing people who do not know AI. So that's the second thing is ethical AI, or will AI, get into our lives and will control it and all that, will do that kind of panic or concern. Some of them are very legitimate. It's exactly like guns. There's so many gun related accidents in everyday household. I'm not talking about mass shootings. I'm talking about everyday household.
Accidents, yeah.
People accidentally shoot kids. Kids have access to guns. They shoot their parents. Maybe they're angry or something. But so you can use a gun to protect yourself and your family, or you can use gun for violence and other purposes. So AI is also a technology. It has tool set which you can use to make life better. People curse social media all the time, like, oh, social media brought. But I say, no, it didn't. You, ha- This is amazing. I don't think when PC came in, we used to have bigger than this floppy disk, bigger than this. You could not
I
boot a
remember well.
PC.
Yes.
This phone that we use now is more powerful than a supercomputer at that time. We have knowledge with us all the time. It's such a beautiful thing. I've learned so much from social media that I could not have. So AI is wonderful, wonderful. We just need to be human, and we need to do what humans do best. We need to make sense of it. We need to help each other understand it. We need to build that support system where we can use it effectively for our benefit. That's all. That's what I think.
And I think so much of what you're describing is that human element is so important, that relationship we
Absolutely.
have between each other. This is just one more tool to help us plan better vacations or do our jobs more effectively or, find a better product, but it's still up to us to craft that and drive it.
Absolutely. You see, before our problem used to be that we did not have access to enough information. When I was coming to America, I used to go to American Center in Lahore, Pakistan, and sit there for hours and hours, go through university paper catalogs, and people had ripped pages and catalogs were several years old. And that's where I found a cheap university, like affordable university, where I could get admission and come to the United States. But I know how difficult that was. I mean, we're so blessed in this time. You can sit anywhere and get any information about. At that time, I came to Bowie State University, Maryland. It's a historically black. It was college and recently promoted to university. People in Bowie did not know about that university. So we are so blessed. Information is so much, available now, and it's so plenty. The AI organizes that information, goes and fetches and puts it together for us. So it's subservient to human, actions. So
Yeah,
that's
we are
a
so
great point. We must feel good and optimistic about the scope and the prospects of using it. Yes, sorry, you were saying something.
just that we are still the spark, right? We are like you said, that we direct it and it brings us results. And then it's up to us
Absolutely.
to make those results into a product or the next step or the next spark.
Absolutely. Mark, think of it as a stenographer. I don't know if you remember that. The people who
Yes,
used
I
to
can remember
type
those.
and shorthand language, they used to do that for you. But they would do whatever you tell them. They bring whatever you tell them to bring to you, and then you make decisions. You use that for actionable items as you wanted to use it. And that's exactly the same. I was looking at, there is a company that's offering a fully automated robotic coffee store. They're offering franchises. You just can get that and use it. I mean, how wonderful is that? Think about that. That's not going to replace anyone. The cost will go down. You will be able to use that money to boost economic activity elsewhere. It is at consumer level. We must see every technology, everything, how it is relevant to an ordinary citizen's life on daily basis. And I think it's wonderful. We are living in wonderful times.
And I agree with the two major items you said there. One, how there are the people with AI and the people without. And if you get smart on the AI, you are going to be in the forefront for the next round of how the world is changing. And secondly, that those with the AI create an efficiency that now you have those resources available to invest elsewhere. And I think so much of
Absolutely.
that is being forgotten, that as we free those resources up that were being spent on a cup of coffee and now you can put it elsewhere, that elsewhere will grow and new opportunities will evolve.
You see, I'm 62 now. Okay. Every time I heard this thing in my life that when I have time, I will do this. Every time I had a nickel for that, I would probably be a multimillionaire just because of that. And I keep telling people there will never be time. 24 hours, that's all you get in a day. 50 years ago, it was 24 hours. 100 years ago, it was 24. Bill Gates, Elon Musk, president, they all have 24 hours in a day. There will never be more time. You need to innovate. You need to make it more efficient so you can find time within that, which requires prioritizing. You go to any AI agent, put there your situation and tell it to prioritize, make a plan for you, and you'll be shocked. I mean, it will get so personal. It will tell you so many things about you. It's
Yes.
fascinating. We just need to be open to embrace this technology. Of course, there should be a healthy cynicism or healthy, cautious behavior there. We just don't need to be reckless about it. But there are so many organizations who are working on that part. By the time it gets to an ordinary citizen or a consumer, it's been tested, tried, used, experimented so much that is safer. At the experimental level, there may be issues. Of course, whenever you're exploring, there are 10 things and two of them may work out, it may not work out. But that's at the experimental level. And then, of course, we use cars every day. I live, not too far from Amish country. It's right here. They're still not using electricity. They're not still using motorized vehicles, no technology. They're there in that, corner of the world. They have their world. They're happy, so fine. If you don't want to use it, that's fine. That doesn't mean that technology is harmful or technology will destroy lives or in any which way. And accidents
Well, how do you,
happen. Nobody stops driving.
of course,
Sorry,
of
go ahead.
course. How do you see, so everything you just said about how now we've got knowledge at our fingertips, but at the same time, at some level, we have a responsibility that if we don't learn past, we'll make the same mistakes, right? We repeat the mistakes of the past if we don't learn. So where is that line between what we need to make sure we learn versus what we can lean on the technology to give us answers? Do you think it's more about history? Do you think it's key outcomes from the past? Where do you think you make sure you have that in your head and not necessarily rely so heavily on the knowledge at your fingertips?
Okay. Mark, let me ask you a question before answering that. 5 closest people to you. Okay. Do you remember their phone numbers?
No, no.
You don't. You can't. I forget my own phone number.
I think I got one phone number in my head. Yeah, mine and one other.
Okay. If you're married, it better be your wife's
It is.
because you can
Yes,
go
that's
into.
correct.
Yeah. So, but not too long ago, we had to remember numbers. You could not, get by without that. I used to go to these convenience stores and pick up maps and look at the books and, every county map you had to buy. And then all of that is gone. We don't need that. Technology has made our life so easy. So that part of technology, we must use. There are 4 kind of people in every society. They're innovators who take all kind of risk, who go all out, who they want to, they're excited people. They, put their resources online to innovate, to make things better. And then there are early adopters. People who like, okay, it's been done. Somebody has done it. Now let's use it. Then followers. Then a bulk of people is in the society is in this category who follow. Like, okay, smartphone people, went through that entire process and the bulk followed. Like, okay, let's use smartphones. And then there are laggards who will always have something. I'm not going to use it. It's harmful. It's harmful for eyes and this and that. So those people will always exist in a society. You will never get rid of them. There will always be. And it is human nature when you're doing something or you're not doing something, you want to influence others. Like my brothers got me to start using smartphones. I was like, I don't know, when I swipe, it goes this way and that way. I used to do that. So there's so many
Yes.
people who do that, and I used to tell other people as well, like, I don't know how you use it. It's simple. You press these buttons and you can use phone. And what do you use smartphone for? Phone is for calling. But then when I started using and realizing the benefits of it, I thought that, I really need this. It's become such an integral part of our life. So most of the people who are not very tech savvy, they still use search engines. The leading search engine is Google. They've already incorporated their artificial intelligence into that. Gemini's part of Google now. So in many cases, we would not even know that we are using artificial intelligence, and we'll be using it. New generation devices and appliances will have embedded AI in them. So you can't run away from it. Yes, you can decide, like now parents decide, or you decide, like how much my screen time should be, or how much my kids should use that.
Yep.
Likewise, you can decide that there is an optimal point in every person's life, and they must decide that, okay, I want to use AI, but this much AI is enough for me. I don't want to go beyond that. The risk takers, the innovators, the boundary pushers will always do that. They will always go on the edge and use that. So
I think to your point, my father was always someone who wanted to have a car with a stick shift with a clutch, right? And to your
yeah,
point, it's harder and harder to find one, but he insists, right, and holds on to it. Versus as soon as I can have an autonomous car at home, I'm going to, right? So it's just that, where are you on that spectrum, like you described, across the four pieces, and we as a society are going to go through that process regardless.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. You see, I have electric car. 2 years, I never did oil change or anything in that. I have not gone to a gas station. I charge it at home. How can you get me back to a non-electric vehicle? I will not go there. But if hydrogen car comes in and that starts flying, I'm sticking with electric car as long as I can. So this is also a generational shift in the process. So if your father, I mean, there is no feel like a stick shift. The
Mhm.
kick you get, the pickup it
Yes.
has, you can't get that. So
There's more
yes,
thought
that would be
process. There's
great.
a different physical experience. Yeah, it's just different.
Absolutely, absolutely. But every 2,000 miles, you had to take to change
Yes.
oil, do this and all that.
Oh, we had the
So
clutch
when
go out.
synthetic,
So the clutch to replace too. There's more pieces. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And when synthetic oil was introduced, we were so excited, like, wow, 10,000 miles. I don't have to, I can save 5 trips to oil changing. So our habits and our lifestyle modifies. Even the laggard, they're pushed into it. And then you have collectors left only, like, okay, I have a stick shift. So there'll be a
Yeah.
collector item.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Well, Ziad, I really appreciate the time today. I like exploring those different pieces, and your background is so interesting. So I really appreciate the input.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. I'm always here. Anything I can, contribute. We want we want people to, move forward and make life easier and better as the things come on.
And I like so much of the focus on peace. I think I couldn't agree more. This is a time when it's so important for all of us.
Absolutely. 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 We do. In America, people are so stressed, for one reason or another. Our political leaders have run the society based on fear mongering, which creates so much stress. And the worst part of that is the stress is not detected in medical tests. Most people do not know about it, but they are victim of it. It's a silent killer. So bringing peace to an individual's life is, it's like such an important thing. And we can do by doing very little things around us. We can contribute to a neighbor's or a family member's life very, very easily, bringing them peace and, lessening their stress, making them a more, a happier and more contributing member to the society. So I think that's all of us should contribute to it.
Absolutely agree, Ziad. That's very true. Well, thank you for the time today.
My pleasure. Anytime. Thank you very much.